to you by Toyota. The year-end countdown is on now, making it the perfect time to get into a new Toyota.
Welcome back. Don't miss Sidney Crosby and the Pittsburgh Penguins as they come to town this Monday, and visit the Canadian Tire Centre to take on the Sens. To find out how you can be in attendance for that, go to capitaltickets.ca.
All right, thank you very much, Sean. As we get set to go, second and final meeting of the year between the Phoenix Coyotes and the Ottawa Senators, and our goaltending matchup this afternoon is a good one, Hoff.
Well, there's no doubt a couple of number 41s, and there Mike Smith getting a lot of kudos for the type of hockey he's playing right now, a Canadian goaltender. Of course, you know what I'm leading to. But he did lose to the Ottawa Senators back in October. And he lost to this goaltender here, Craig Anderson, trying to get something going for the team. The numbers are decent at 500, nowhere near last year. But everybody acknowledges they need to improve in the Sens dressing room.
Smith on a bit of a low point for him so far this season. Great credentials, but just 1-2-2 in his last 5 games. So he just talked about tightening up his game as the puck slides to the side of the net. Along the boards, Phillips comes in from the point and has a collision actually down in the corner with Bobby Ryan. Turris tries to send the puck front of the net. Phoenix moves it back up the center. Dumping it down inside the Ottawa zone. Ekman-Larsson back along the boards. Here's Turris. Tries to go cross ice off a skate, stays in the Ottawa zone. Phillips quickly clears it through and all the way back down ice. Murphy back to chase it, but Ekman-Larsson kind of provides the decoy as the puck is sent up ice. Klinkhammer slams it down inside the Ottawa end. Cowan now ahead of Neal. Neal works the puck along the boards, doesn't get it in deep enough, gets a second chance though. Fires the puck low to the corner. Smith out of the net, hops over his stick, back along the boards. Neal wanted to try and one-time it. It pops up in the air, trickles to the side of the net. Puck is still loose. Greening trying to get a hold of it. Phoenix now trying to get out of trouble in their own zone. Puck is stolen away along the boards by Zach Smith. Now Yandel back up along the boards to the line, spun around and able to get out. Greening with a shot tipped in front. Neal side of the net. A sprawling save by Smith. Back up the boards for Bada. Out to center. Makes a move at his own line as Chris Neal comes over, gives him a pop. Ottawa changing. Good start for the Senators here is Greiva. Along the boards. Conacher to the line, chips it in. Yandel gives him a shove. Back along the boards. Here's McCulloch. McCulloch now trying to spin away from Morris. Spezza wheels it back to the point. Here's Cowan. Sends a shot through right on. Save is made by Smith. Puck is cleared out to center in the neutral zone. Kennedy tried to send the puck ahead and did. Brule knocked off his pass to the puck. He gets it in deep though. Carlson through the middle. Here's Spezza. Goes to the wing. Conacher inside the zone. Sends the puck in behind the net. McCulloch tried to drop it back. Conacher down in the corner as his face went into the glass. Gets back up again. Carlson tries to center it. He gets tied up, and Brule out to center. Long lead pass out of the reach of Ribeiro. Here's Cowan now. Up to center. Bouncing puck down to the line. Cassian has it taken away from him as he tried to work himself in around Torres. To the line and in. Here's Korpikoski. Just back off the injury list. A backhander knocked away by Anderson. Here's Cassian now. Clears the puck, not out of the zone. Back down low. Here's a chance in front. Low and just wide. Off the board. Puck is chipped ahead by Pajot. Back to center. To the line and in. Here's Cassian moving in. His shot. Save is made by Smith. Good snapshot from Cassian and the puck back up ice. Here comes Derek Morris.
And no hesitation, which is real positive.
Korpikoski inside the line. His shot knocked away by Anderson. Puck to the corner. Along the boards. Schwartz couldn't keep the puck alive in the zone. Now Condra sends it back to Phillips. Ottawa changing their forward line. Phillips waits for that to happen. There's Phillips now. Back of his own net. Spots Turris through the middle, but goes to the Bobby Ryan option. Ryan along the board. Says the puck knocked off his stick by Vermette. Back the other way. Here comes Klinkhammer. Carlson comes across, takes his ice away. Here's Bachman now in the corner. Vermette back to the net. Here's Antoine Vermette trying to circle it back to the point. Gets it there. Ekman-Larsson with a shot that goes off the stick of Bobby Ryan up into the mesh.
Well, right off the bat, no worries about getting a good start to the game. The line of Neal's had some good puck presence in the offensive zone. And then the forecheck and sometimes goes the other way. You got to get in deep. Stone just slams Conacher into the boards. Conacher seemed to inadvertently hit his face. This is what you like with Kassian. Not looking for a pass, not looking for the better play. When the best play is easy, shoot.
Well, in his NHL career, he has never had an assist, so back to the point. The line puck is held in down low in the
my
corner.
point.
I was just trying to solidify your point. Back to the point it comes. Spin around shot by Brule to the corner. Spezza trying to reach in for it. Out of his reach, though. Spezza clears it ahead. Brule off the board. Steals it back. Cowan in behind the net. Trying to tie up Ribeiro. Here's Conacher to pick it up. Conacher flips the puck ahead, but not out. Coyotes hold the puck in. Back in behind the net. Moss. Round the boards. Back to the corner. Stone sends it rather to make that Klesla. Stolen away up to center now. McCulloch flips it along the boards, trying to fight his way by Klesla to the puck. Brule throws it wide side. Puck is tipped back out to center. Here's Ribeiro. Dumps it to the line as he sidesteps a check from Zach Smith. Centering pass, tipped back to the line. Morris winds and fires, kicked out by Anderson. Verbata in the corner, sends it around the boards as he's pressed and then dropped by Driver. Zach Smith through the middle. Nice relay as he gets it ahead to Mathot to the line. Greening dumps it back to the net. Smith out of the net. Snaps it back along the boards. Mathot just fires it back in. Here's Keith Yandle with it now. Yandle back out to center. His lead pass to the line. Kennedy drops it back to Verbata along the boards. Spinning shot doesn't get through. Neal clears the puck back out to center. In the neutral zone. Driver. All alone, end of his shift. Dumps it to the corner. He peels back on a change. Out to center. Kassian came back as he could see that Hansel could have had a break. When Hansel realized it was Kassian coming at full speed, he chose not to take the break. Pajot to the line. Has it tipped away from him. Back the other way, down to the Ottawa line and in. Puck is tipped to the corner, off the glass. Pajot back up with it. Here's Pajot. Trying to get in around Ekman-Larsson. Has to take the wide route. Interference is going to be the call, and Ottawa will go to the power play as we have a look at the keys to the game. Brought to you by Tim Hortons, the official coffee of the NHL.
Well, you've already seen it a couple of times. The Ottawa Senators have got to be much better, much smarter with the puck. Play smarter. Get the puck in deep. Forecheck. Give guys a chance to get off the ice. For the Coyotes, we showed you, there's a lot of good scoring on the Coyotes. Only Verbata has been steady. So they need to get their guns going again and get some more goal scoring as a team. Well, on the same shift, Pajot misses an easy pass to get in the offense, but then draws a penalty on the trip. Power play, Senators.
Ekman-Larsson off of the box, Ottawa to the power play. They were 1 for 3 in the 4-2 loss Thursday against Florida. They have scored 3 in the last 3 games, 3 for 9.
2 minutes for interference.
Back in his own net, Ceci leaves the puck there. And here comes the power play breakup. Mathot gets the puck ahead to the line. Dumped in by McArthur. Smith out of the net. Hard around the boards. Knocked down by Bobby Ryan. Stolen away. Cleared back down ice by David Moss. Ceci again back in his own zone. 90 seconds to go, and the Ottawa power play is Ceci. Gets it ahead again through the middle. Turris drops it to the wing. Ryan, late man, quick shot, scores! Mark Mathot, the late man.
You know what, folks? They may have heard the word or the phrase lack of execution in the past couple of weeks. Not here. Take a look at how pretty this play is. 1 pass, 2 passes, 3 passes, 4 passes, and a shot on goal. How often do you see that? And watch, the people are drawn to Bobby Ryan. That's why you've got Mathot able to come in. Korpikoski gets drawn down low by the Gunners like Turris and Bobby Ryan. And what a play by Mathot just to come in late, keeping the gap perfect, and gets a terrific shot on goal for a power play.
Back to center now, rink wide pass. Here's Verbata to the line. Hansel trying to fight his way past. Puck is loose, still loose in front of the net. Whoa, that was unbelievably dangerous for Anderson. Play continues in front of the net as Hansel is completely frustrated and angry with Eric Gryba, who has been all over him. Here is Gryba off the boards, down to the Phoenix line.
Assisted by number 6, Bobby Ryan.
zone. Ekman Larsson gathers it up in his own zone. Back the other way. Here's Hansel. Fires it in. Off the boards. Jared Cowan now. Cowan works it across and Greiba. Back to Cowan. Cowan straight through the middle. Spezza deflects it in. Bouncing puck. Smith had to be sharp on that one. Gives it away. Just rolled over the stick of Spezza. To the line. Here's Ribeiro. Lobs the puck to the corner. Brule goes to chase it. Tries to slide by Cowan. That doesn't work. Cowan pokes the puck ahead. Centering pass knocked down. Back out to center. Here comes McCulloch down the wing. Spezza goes to the hole. McCulloch wide side. Carlson jumping in. Just missed. Here's Spezza. Low in the corner. Spezza back to the net. Getting some help. McCulloch comes in. Tried to turn it back to the net. Couldn't do it. In behind the goal now. Puck is cleared along the boards. Michael Stone just wanted it out. Spezza turns it back. Trying to get away from Ekman Larsson now. Spezza drops it back. Condra. Carlson. Carlson moves in. His shot just wide. Tried to go low, blocker side. Puck comes outside the line. Phillips heaves it back in.
I tell you what, the Senators are having a lot of time in the offensive zone. Not really pressed by these Coyotes.
Centering pass deflects off the stick. Here's Ceci in from the point. Back to the net. Wanted to feed Peugeot. That hopped over hit stick. Bottker back to center. Bottker and Klinkhammer at the line. Bottker forehand. His shot kicked out. Loose puck and Vermette missed. Vermette tries to center. Puck comes free. And out of the traffic. Peugeot. Safe play off the boards. Back to center. Ceci. Phillips works it to the wide side. Deflected in. Senators get themselves out of trouble.
Just an easy play by MacArthur. Doesn't need a lot. Get it down deep. Guys get a chance to change. Smart hockey.
Klinkhammer from center dumps it in. Here's Greiba back to get it. Runs it around the boards as Vermette makes some contact with him. Ottawa breaks it out. 3 wide. Bobby Ryan to Turris. Turris breaks in. Can't get the forehand away. Back in front. There's a shot by Bobby Ryan that's blocked. Back from the Coyotes. Stolen away as MacArthur takes it away from him. Here's Mafat back to the line. Fires it. Cross corner into the zone. To the point. Greiba with a shot that's deflected high in the air by Smith. Yandel snaps it around the boards. Not out though. MacArthur holds onto it. Tries to work it through. Inside. One extra move and it trickles to the net. Kicked out by Smith.
That's what they call stick handling in a phone booth.
Anchor along the boards. It's taken off the puck. Goes down. Penalty call is made as we're going to get a cross-checking call here as Conacher took one in the head from Hansel. Mark Mafat, the only goal of this game on the power play.
Well, right from the start, the Ottawa Senators are pressing the Coyotes. First it was Neal. Cowan, good shot getting it through. And now Kassian, a good shot. Carlson gets it one time and just wide. And again, 65 finds himself open, trying to get a shot on goal. And this, well, that was a tourist attempt. And the stick of the defenseman got in the way. But as you can see, maybe they took this from the Florida Panthers. Go north, young men. It looks like a lot of north hockey for the Ottawa Senators so far in this game.
Hansel off of the box, 2 for the cross check as he got the stick up in the head of Conacher. And Ottawa on the power play as Bobby Ryan is taken down by Vermette at the line. Puck is dumped in. Smith off the boards, goes to clear it himself. And just barely gets it back out to center. Moss finishes the job for him.
Boy, and he's a good puck handler, Smith. It's odd to see him struggling like that.
Turris to the line. Wide side. MacArthur. Gets everyone in. Gets everyone set up. Here's Cody Ceci. Back across. MacArthur through the box. Carlson, his shot. Looking for a tip. MacArthur back again. Carlson. Sends it through again. Looking for a tip. MacArthur to Turris. Turris back to MacArthur. Sends the shot through, redirected, and just off the blocker of Smith. He really had to reach out for that.
You know, what I find impressive here is that either the Senators are moving the puck really quickly and well, because they're finding seams where normally these Phoenix Coyotes, they don't give you those seams. They look to be a step behind the Senators right now.
Conacher sends it around the boards, but the puck is cleared to the line. Phillips there to hold it in, and we're going to get a hooking call behind the play, so the power play will end, and we'll have 42 seconds 4-on-4 hockey, and barring any other penalties, then a power play for Phoenix as Milan McCulloch goes off.
Well, it's too bad because Milan McCulloch gives up on 42 seconds of possible power play time. Power play has not been a problem for the Ottawa Senators this year. They're 10th overall, particularly lately. They've scored 3 power play goals in the last 2 games coming in. 3 for 6, 1 for 1 this afternoon. So now when you take a penalty, here it is. Probably call that interference or something of that nature, hooking as it is. And the power play has been decent. 10th overall, I don't think you can look at that for the Ottawa Senators woes.
That's in, takes the drop, swings it back towards the net. Pajot didn't see it coming. And now Bottker out to center. Bottker fires the puck around the boards. Anderson out to stop it. Shovels it back along the boards. Here's Pajot, knocked off his stick, back out to center. Yandel turns back to chase it in his own end, gives it away to Spezza. Had to get a between the legs shot away. Didn't really have much else in the bag of tricks available there, unless he can skate backwards. Shot right on.
I think he needs a little more highlight reel action for the Den.
Well, he was already past the point where he could get a forehand shot away, so rather than trying to turn back, give it a shot. Here's Yandel. Yandel carries the puck ahead. Power play now for Phoenix. Ribeiro in the zone, drops it back. Here's Yandel. Slides it across. Back to Yandel, but the puck comes back outside the line, and offside is the call.
Well, the Phoenix Coyotes are still, as we talked about in the open, I hope you were with us when Dean and I were talking about how tough it is in the West. Keith Yandel is their #1 guy on the power play in points. And I tell you what, this is the best power play percentage that these Phoenix Coyotes have put together, okay, under Dave Tippett in the last 5 years. So they keep improving. A team that has often been looked at as a defensive-minded team, even of a defensive-minded coach like Dave Tippett, they all work on what they have perceived weaknesses. And Phoenix power play this year is very, very respectable. Tied for 7th.
Right now on the road, 15% is their efficiency. Play in the corner. Hansel puts Greibe into the boards. Puck comes free, and Pajot being told to get the puck down, so now he does.
Really? Those are the plays that the coach really wants to have happen. He should never have hesitated on that. 5 feet inside your own blue line, full control of the puck, and you're killing a penalty. What are you thinking that you're going to be able to accomplish?
And you could hear from our microphones at ice level his teammates were telling him, get the puck down, get it down. So back to even strength.
That's the difference between the American League. You know, he might be able to have found somebody to pass it to and send somebody off on a shorthanded breakaway, but it doesn't happen here.
Here's Turris, wide side. McCulloch knocks it down, sends it in front for a tip. Smith makes the save. Here's Klinkhammer off the boards to the line. Bottker stood up there by Phillips. Here's Ceci, comes across ice to gather it up. Now Turris puts it back in his own net. That puts Phillips in a bad spot. Takes some contact he wasn't expecting, and now they'll try the other side back to center. MacArthur gets to the line, gets it in, but not deep enough, and now a chance for Connor Murphy to get it back up ice. Lead pass to the middle. Puck is tipped inside the Ottawa zone. It goes up over the glass and out of play. A 1-0 Ottawa lead here on Canadian Tires, Senators Hockey.
Welcome back. Now it's time to live the game with Windows. Last night, Alex Ovechkin reached a milestone, notching his 400th career goal. The night before, Chris Neil got his 99th, now sitting one back of a milestone of his own. When Neil hits 100, he'll become the 11th player in franchise history to record 100 goals as a Senator. Live the game with Windows.
There's no active player in the NHL with more penalty minutes than that man.
That tells you, too, that sometimes coming up through the system when you're young playing hockey, if you love it, don't worry about how many letters are on your jacket, what the letters are. Here's a guy who played House C in Flesherton growing up, because they didn't really have any hockey at a higher level than that until they got older and started to move around. But the good players, they can play, period. Doesn't matter where they are, what the competition is. If you're a competitive person, you're a player, you're a player.
Well, you take a look at Chris Neal and Spezza. They scored in last game, losing effort against Florida. But, you know, the fact is those are the guys that showed up. A lot of the younger guys did not, and a lot of people are of the same opinion. If you're not getting Greening and Smith and Pajot and Condra, then those are the guys that were really delivering last year. They have to come up with better efforts as well.
McCulloch line fires, tipped in front. Carlson side of the net, tried to press it back. Now up ice, Carlson backpedals to get out to center. To the line and in, Ribeiro trying to get around Carlson. Carlson kicks the puck away from him. Back to the line, Yandel sends it in. It's gloved down by Anderson, and a face-off will come to his right.
Pro Hockey Life, the ultimate hockey megastore.
I want you to look at this, Denny. As Phoenix comes out, Erik Karlsson's trapped, so he has to skate backwards. He skates backwards back to his position faster than Phoenix skates forward to rush the Ottawa line.
You know what? 24 defensemen come from his country in the National Hockey League. 24 Swedish defensemen in the NHL. What are they doing over there? Guys like Kronwall, Ekman Larsson that you talked about playing this afternoon. Jonas Brodin. We don't get to see him to play a lot, but boy, I tell you what, many of the scouts around the NHL, they just go wild talking about that young Minnesota Wild defenseman.
He is outstanding. I saw him last year in that first round of the playoffs, and he's an outstanding player. You're right. No, as we said off the top, this young man, Keith Yandel, is still the guy who carries the mail in Phoenix. But some say this guy, Denny, is going to at some point be a Norris Trophy winner.
Well, you take a look at the numbers and the skating style. You pointed out skating backwards faster than, you know, some guys skate forward for Karlsson. That's a fact. I mean, you know, who can deny the skating ability of Lindstrom for so many years? He just made it look so easy. They're doing something right in Sweden. You know, oftentimes you look at Finland and say, what are they doing about goaltenders there? Seem to be Finnish goaltenders are taking over. And then for a while it's Quebec. And on and on. Well, right now, 24 young, very top-notch defensemen in the NHL come from Sweden.
Well, the majority of NHL defensemen are still Canadian-born, and no country produces more NHL-level defensemen than Canada does. But I think the point you're making, Denny, is that a country the size of Sweden is generating that many NHL-quality defensemen. It really is amazing. Ceci through traffic, and a good reaction save from Smith. That was redirected in front. Here's Vermette. Back along the board. Klinkhammer tries to tip it out. Instead, it's held in by Turris. Back to the corner. Here's Ryan. Back of the net. Hops over top of the stick of MacArthur. That gives the Coyotes a chance to clear it, and they do. Here's Klinkhammer to center. Vermette is the trailer. Klinkhammer takes it wide. Vermette goes to the hole. Klinkhammer blows a tire. Connor Murphy there to hold it, and Klinkhammer back up again. Feeds the high slot. Now, back up ice. 2-on-1. Turris. MacArthur. The pass partially tipped on the way by Murphy, and that took away the chance for MacArthur.
Yeah, I've got a feeling Turris is so happy to have MacArthur back on his line that he doesn't want to shoot. He wants to make sure he passes to the puck to his line mate. When you're in the center of the ice, shooting from the high slot area, which is where Turris was, if you don't score, that'll be a penalty.
Puck goes up and out of play, and I believe Ekman Larsson, will have his second minor of the game.
That's where you get the rebounds.
Welcome back. Community Hockey brought to you by Scotiabank. You're richer than you think. As proud supporters of kids' community hockey teams across Canada, Scotiabank wants to hear how your team is impacting or giving back to your community. Tag your stories and photos using hashtag ScotiaHockey for a chance to be recognized on an upcoming Senators broadcast.
All right, we'll take another look at this penalty. It's a tough call. I don't know about that one, but I mean, that is definitely a call. But I'm just saying that becomes a penalty. Tough. Well, the idea is try to create more scoring, and the Ottawa Senators sure can show you the way because their power play effectiveness has been terrific in the last 3 games. Already a goal tonight, or this afternoon, I should say.
Slides by Carlson back down ice.
Number 23, Oliver Ekman-Larsson. 2 minutes for the
There's Eric Carlson. 2 power play goals, 14 power play helpers. Here's Spezza just out of his reach. Smith quickly tries to clear it. Ottawa trying to hold it in. Moss couldn't do anything to get it out. Spezza to Ceci. Ceci breaks on, trying to create a gap. Gets pinned. Finds a way out. Here's Spezza now. Ceci back to Spezza through the box. Vermette knocks it down, and the puck is cleared back out again. And 1 extra pass or attempted pass was 1 too many. Here's Ceci again to center. Goes to the wing. Bobby Ryan has it swept off his stick by Morris. Around the boards, puck in behind the net. Murphy along the boards, skating hard to get there first, but unable to get the puck out. That's Korpikoski. Back to the net now. Morris bounces it all the way back down ice. A short-handed chance, and that one goes off the stick of Ceci. Here is Turris down to the line and in. Sends it around the boards as the power play defense are changing. And that's why Turris wanted the extra time with the wraparound wing around. Back to the line it comes. Hops over top of the stick of Mathot and back down ice. There's Mark Mathot. 25 seconds remaining in the Ottawa power play. Ceci to center. Snaps it around the boards. Smith trying to trap it. Hopped over his stick. Out the other way. MacArthur couldn't get there. Along the boards. Turris trying to dig it out. Puck comes free. Now a chance to clear it. Sent all the way back down ice again by Korpikoski. Korpikoski's first game back after missing 13 games with an upper body injury. Ekman-Larsson is back out. Power play for Ottawa is over. 90 seconds to go in the period. And out to center. Bodker goes to the wing. Klinkhammer flips the puck to the side of the net. Cowan steers it along the boards. Zach Smith trying to get it out. Forces the puck. Greening dumps it to the corner. Zach Smith in to get it. Comes off the check from Morris. There's Neal now. Neal in behind the net, trying to work himself away from Yandel. Puck tip, side of the net, bouncing puck. Neal in behind the goal. Out of the corner with it now. Zach Smith. Smith stops. Sends one through right on. Save is made. Loose puck spills back to the front. Yandel now skates it out of harm's way, clearing it to center. Ribeiro to the line. Wide side. Here's Bodker. Gryba misses on his hit. Comes off the boards. Takes him down, but still. Chance back to the point. Here's Yandel. Winds, fires at the flex wide of the net. Greening takes it off the boards. 30 seconds to go in the period. He sweeps it at center. Couldn't get the puck in deep. Ottawa changing, as are the Coyotes. Here's Ekman-Larsson now. Dumps the puck to the line. Gryba knocks it down. Gryba pivoting in his own end to try and find some escape room. Pajot to the wing. Just sends it out to center. Back along the boards for Bata as the puck swept off his stick by Pajot. And that will do it for period number 1. Shots even at 9 apiece. But the Senators were the only goal of the period. Mark Mathot's third of the year on the power play. The only goal so far of this game here at Canadian Tire Center.
This period brought to you by Toyota. The year-end countdown is on now, making it the perfect time to get into a new Toyota.
A dominant period by the Ottawa Senators, but it's still only a 1-0 hockey game. The Senators looking very good, playing north. These young men are.
First period scoring summary brought to you by Ford. Get the gift that brings endless joy only at your Metro Ford dealers of Ottawa. The shots all even at 9, but the first period belonged to the Senators. Mark Mathot's third of the season. If he sends a 1-0 lead, as that is where we currently sit as we head into the second period. I'm now joined by Jason York. Jason, today the Senators putting the line back together of Kyle Turris, Bobby Ryan, and Clark MacArthur. Did they pick up right where they left off?
Well, they're starting to remind me of our producer, Scott Butter Carruthers, playing with the same kind of passion he displayed last night on our indoor rink game at my place. But in all seriousness, Kyle Turris has been outstanding, and there's the boys last night on the snowy game, but we got it in.
Great hospitality from Yorkie.
Yeah, my pleasure. But Bobby Ryan, right off the bat, an outstanding pass, right on the tape of Mark McLeod. They don't get that goal without the net drive, but Kyle Turris has been all over the ice tonight, offensively and defensively. Clark MacArthur, second effort on the back check here, pounding down the Coyotes, picking up that puck and giving it back to his defenseman. Nice little tip by Bobby Ryan in front. But here's the play I really like by Kyle Turris. Patience in the defensive zone, being back and supporting his defense, and just coming out with patience, because the Coyotes have that system of 4 back. And how about picking off the pass here, setting up the transition game, and another 2-on-1 with Turris and Clark MacArthur.
Producer Scott also told us $2 bag skates when he was growing up back in Langton, in the hometown he grew up in. And Scott, after seeing your stride, I would demand a refund.
Oh, it's unbelievable when the producer of
Coming
the
at
show
you, Butter.
is getting absolutely mauled by the on-air talent about his skating abilities on an outdoor rink. It's just unfortunate you and I couldn't show up.
Well, take a good look at Sean McKenzie, folks. Producer may not have mine again.
May have been his last. Mike may never work again. Out to center. Ceci winds up and fires that errant puck back down inside the Coyotes' end along the boards. Unable to get out was Bodker. Puck still lying there. MacArthur trying to get to the net. Just out of the reach of Turris as the puck was behind him. Bodker to the line. Gets to the forehand, drops it. Late man moving in. Ekman Larsson. Save is made by Anderson. Kicks the puck out. Back comes Ottawa. 3-on-1. Bobby Ryan. MacArthur. Centering pass. Knocked down, and the 3-on-1 doesn't get the puck to the net. Here's Ceci. Cross corners the puck, heads off on a change. Both teams changing now. Long lead pass out to center. Knocked down in the neutral zone. Neal flips it back inside the line. Ekman Larsson has Zach Smith on him right away. Now trying to get out of their own end. It comes in hard and high on Tim Kennedy, and that causes tempers to rise. And now pushing, shoving, and some general name calling.
You know, you sort of get mesmerized by the fact that the Ottawa Senators are playing so well, and you forget that it's still 1-0. A big save here. That's a big save by Craig Anderson, and then you get some overpassing, and again, it's by the same line. We've seen it a couple of times in the first period. Again, the Turris line, in my view, overpassing. There's the penalty to Zach Smith, and now all of a sudden, that's how quick things can turn around. The Ottawa Senators find themselves shorthanded. Face-off in the Ottawa Senators defensive zone, and it's still a 1-0 game after all this work. So the defense core, which we had talked about, PK, penalty killing, maybe the biggest difference from what this team performed at last year, needs to come up big now.
Ekman Larsson holds it in. Puck around the boards. Smith off the box 2 for that hook that you saw. Sending pass knocked down. Pajot steers it back to the corner. Ribeiro back to the point. Ekman Larsson slides the line. Drops it back. Ribeiro through the box. Here's Yandel. Back up high. Ekman Larsson. Yandel, his shot. Hits a couple of legs. Steered to the corner by Mafat. The Ottawa Senators lead the NHL in minors with 168 coming into this game. Here's Yandel, cross ice. Gets it back. Yandel at the point. Finds the high man. Ribeiro turns it back in. Through the box, one-timer, and Anderson comes across and makes the save.
Craig Anderson will take that shot every day, all day long. 2 reasons. First of all, he gets east-west real fast. He goes post to post really fast. But this one here is almost one that is easily to read for Anderson as Ribeiro lofts a soft one across the ice. And the other thing is, if it doesn't go into the belly and captured by Craig Anderson, the rebound is not very dangerous because it'll go back to the corner.
Chipped to the corner by Phillips. Puck is flipped high in the air, back out to center by McCulloch. Here's Yandel. As I was saying, the Senators have the most minor penalties in the league, and they have also been shorthanded the most number of times. Puck trickles to the side of the Ottawa goal. Back to the point, it's fed by Moss. From the line. Puck back to the corner again as Michael Stone just got the puck back to the corner. Yandel backpedals, continues to backpedal, drops it off. Through traffic, there's a shot knocked down on the way to the net. Moss was looking for it, couldn't find it. Now McCullough gets to the line, flops it in, but puts it right on the stick of Smith. And he can probably score from there.
You know, not having a great night, so maybe not a bad idea to give it to him. Puck handling not great for Mike Smith tonight.
Back to the point, there's a shot right on, and the save is made. And in front of the net, Anderson taking more contact than he would like or enjoy. And the penalty's going to be to the right of the Ottawa goal.
Well, we're not that far north that it's dark at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so I'm going to say today. Well, today has not been a great start in puck handling, as I mentioned, for Mike Smith. He's had the opportunity to get the puck, and he seems to have a hard time finding it. Then when he does, he kind of fans on it. And here again, gets it knocked down, almost a clean turnover. And another pass that doesn't find a teammate.
Well, normally it's one of the strongest parts of his game. That's why he's fearless in trying it over and over and over again. History has kind of shown him that he's pretty good at it.
Yeah, he is.
Yandel to the line. Zach Smith up and ready to return. Drop pass comes back to the line. Smith is out now. We're back to even strength. Here's Greiber. Picks up a puck out to center for Smith. Smith down to the Phoenix line. His shot scores! Off the stick of Yandel over the shoulder of Smith. 2-0 Ottawa.
Maybe we've been seeing a bigger problem in Mike Smith's game here this afternoon. He's got a 4-3-2 record against the Sounders. That was a terrible goal. You've got to play where it's a 2-on-1. There's no doubt about it, but the other guy is not nearly anywhere around. So you take a look at Smith going, so it really should be a shot where the goaltender, Smith, just focuses on the shooter. He's already leaning towards Turris, who's not really in the play. I think it's a terrible goal on Mike Smith at this point. We showed he's been having terrible time handling the puck in the early periods of this game. And so far, I think he is having a tough time. That is not a great goal.
Well, you know, I thought it was a pretty good goal, and a tough thing for Smith because I thought it went off Yandel's stick. The 2 replays we just saw there, Denny, it never touched Yandel's stick. That was just a straight shot that beat Smith. I thought originally on just blind eye, I thought it was deflection off Yandel. It wasn't.
Well, yeah, it just was one of those where a goaltender cheats a little bit. You see on the far side, Turris is not really in the play. And it is not the kind of play where a goaltender should try and help his defenseman.
Puck comes to the side of the net. Senators in the Phoenix end trying to make something happen. Back out to the neutral zone. Carlson rides his man off. McCullough clears the puck out to center. Smith setting himself back in the goal line at the other end, and you can tell he's not happy about that one. Here's Carlson. He goes down, tripped up in the corner. Falls. McCullough comes in to try and help him. Along the boards, Hansen loses the puck, and Spezza now makes his way to center, slides it through the middle. Carlson back to the line and in. Conacher fires it back to the net on the other side. Ottawa changing, so no one there to help Spezza out. And Phoenix looks to come out of it. And a long lead pass to center. Here come the Coyotes to the line. Drop pass for Bada. Gives it back. Cutting through. Puck trickles to the side of the net. Zach Smith steers it away. Here's Smith. Out to center. Long lead pass for Greeny. Misses him. Icing waved off. Yandel around the board. Zach Smith leaves it for Phillips. Fires it to the net. Knocked down in front. Loose puck. Cleared to the boards, but not out. Zach Smith there to hold it in again. Again, the puck is batted down. Chip Chura drops it back to his defenseman. Long lead pass. Out of the reach of Korpikoski. Let's go down to ice level. Here's Sean.
The next Canadian Tire Senators hockey broadcast as Sidney Crosby and the Pittsburgh Penguins come to town to take on the Senators. Coverage begins Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Sportsnet East and Ontario. Regional restrictions are in effect.
Well, you look at the play this afternoon of Mike Smith. It can't help Dave Tippett looking down at his ace goaltender, and he's not going to get a lot of goal support. In the last 3 games, they've scored 1 goal in each of the 3 losses.
Back to the point. Greiber with a shot that floats wide of the net. Chipchura moves it to the wing. Yandel to the line. Dumps it in. Anderson tips it to the corner. Chipchura sends it back the other way. And now out to center. MacArthur, long lead pass. Finds Bobby Ryan. Bobby Ryan to the line. Carries it. Slides his shot. Kicked out. Centering pass. Just goes through the blue paint. Back to the point. Here's Methot. Tries to send it back in front, but he's angled off the puck by Bottker. Delicate pass along the boards by Methot. Doesn't work, and back up ice they come. Down the right side, Korpikoski tries to go forehand. Scores! Antoine Vermette with a cutback move, and it's a 1-goal game.
One rush up the ice. It can happen that quickly. You get Methot trying to make the play down low, and actually it's a 2-on-2. It should be kind of covered, but it's not. And primarily because Bobby Ryan takes the inside of Korpikoski, probably the wrong position considering your defenseman is in deep like Methot was. Bobby Ryan should have maybe just played it safer and stayed on the defensive side of Korpikoski, who got the puck out. And so eventually what happens is you get to 2-on-1, then it becomes a 2-1 hockey game. Only 1 goal difference between these two teams. Two teams that, in my opinion, have played very different games. Ottawa playing well so far.
And looking for more. Vermette backhand chance, and the puck trickles wide of the net as Klinkhammer went hard to the goal. Zach Smith, right off the faceoff, had to get back to the bench for a new stick as his snapped in half off the faceoff. Clears it back to the line. Now Greening forces the puck back out.
Laurie Korpikoski and number 89.
His own line, here's Murphy.
Jubilee Fine Jewelers, Rollins.
Bottker back inside the zone. Puck wanders on. Phillips on the other side, calling for it. Gets it now. Out to center. Floats it down to the line. Rolling puck. Neal with a shot. And that is cleared away. Smith deflected it up into the glass. Then Larson out back of his own net, waiting for the shift to become full. Straight through the middle, he sends it. 3-on-2 break to the line. Ribeiro goes down, and his fall puts everybody offside. It's a 1-goal game here in period 2 on Canadian Tire, Senators Hockey.
Welcome back. This Monday, the Pittsburgh Penguins visit the Canadian Tire Center. Then on Saturday, the 28th, it's the Boston Bruins. Great seats are still available. For more information, go to capitaltickets.ca and make sure you tune in to episode 1 of 24/7 Red Wings Maple Leafs Road to the Winter Classic. That is coming up next on Sportsnet East. And then since you are all caught up, you are set to watch episode 2 of 24/7 Road to the Winter Classic. That is tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and it is on Sportsnet East, Ontario, and West.
All right. So the PVR. Carlson reverses the puck as he takes a little shove from Brule. Out to center. Conacher tips the puck into the Phoenix end. Smith nearly gives the puck away again. He is having a terrible time handling the puck.
You know, it used to be Ottawa having tough times with the 2 o'clock games. Maybe he needs a nap. I can understand that. I have naps. Every hockey player has naps. Just not in the 2 o'clock game usually.
Cowan with a shot. It goes off a stick to the corner. Yandel picks it up. Gets by Conacher out to center. Loses the puck. Stolen away from him by another aggressive back check from Milan McCullough. Condra tries to center the puck, but nobody there in a friendly jersey. And now Moss clears it out to center as he is taken into the boards by Cassian. Back along the boards and in. Yandel tries to clear it up. Knocked down by Pajot. Cassian back in front. Here's Methot with a shot. Blocker saved by Smith. Back along the boards. Morris' stick breaks. Puck comes free. Here's Condra. Plays it back to the point. Methot works it across. Greiber back to Methot. Fires it through. Deflected just wide. Condra picks it up out the other side. Condra weighing his options. Chooses the Methot option. Greiber. Methot. Crowd. Shot. Right on. Save is made. Loose puck. Cassian trying to get to the rebound, but he was pushed backwards by Yandel. Puck is cleared to the line. Held in by Methot. It's good to be 6'3". Greiber with a shot. Kicked out by Smith. Back along the boards. Greiber holds it in. Play is whistled down. And we're going to get a penalty call here, and I believe it may be. I'm going to say high sticking. We'll see what the call is after the fact here. I'm not sure that's indeed the call. We'll wait.
If it's Condra going to the box, I'll be...
Ottawa 44, 2-minute minor slash.
There you go, slash.
Because I tell you what, there was so much whacking of the stick by Yandel and Morris on Condra in front of the net, but you'll see where when you break the guy's stick, usually that's the penalty. Not in New Jersey, but usually it's the penalty, and Pajot goes to the box for that flash.
They saw back down on the Ottawa end, and the Coyotes on the power play. Off the draw.
2 minutes for slashing.
Ekman Larsson, his shot doesn't get through. In the corner. Michael Stone came down, couldn't get the puck to the front of the net. Back to the point. Pressed at the line. Puck comes back outside the zone. Phillips all the way back to center as he tries to continue to press the puck. Verbata at the line, feeds it in. Hansel tried to turn the corner, but Phillips was right on him. Here's Verbata now off the wall. Verbata cuts in, his shot, scores! Goes glove side, and the Senators' 2-goal lead has evaporated.
Boy, just that quickly, this hockey team, the Phoenix Coyotes, have not had a lot of goal scoring in the last 3 games. We talked about losing all of them after only scoring 1 goal. And now all of a sudden there seems to be an explosion. But the one thing that has been consistent for Phoenix has been Verbata, who has scored the goals. And there they get unobstructed ability to get to the puck in the offensive zone. And therefore, Verbata just waltzes right in. Can't be any more scarier than to go for a goaltender as he gets a good shot right through the 5-hole of Craig Anderson.
10th goal of the year for Verbata and his 4th on the power play. First in 7 games. And we're tied at 2 here in period 2.
Phoenix power play goal.
Along the board, Zach Smith comes in, opens up a space. Turnaround shot from Greening misses. Off the boards and back over center. Neal comes across and buries Moss in the neutral zone. Greening takes his man off the puck as he puts Korpikoski into the boards. And now Zach Smith loses the puck to Vermette. Vermette drops it back to the point. Neal comes across and lays out Ekman Larsson. They both go flying. Puck comes to the front of the net, and finally Anderson holds onto it. And Korpikoski, another shot. Ekman Larsson comes in and gives Neal a little shot in behind the play.
Local sports on Rogers TV. Your community, your teams. For the most local sports, watch Rogers TV.
Well, it appears as though the Coyotes were kind of sleepwalking through this one. But maybe that hit got them woken up, because all of a sudden the Coyotes are starting to look like the team we saw in Phoenix and the team that battles against top-notch Western teams. This Phoenix Coyote team really has not had great scoring of late, but the overall thing, Dave Tippett has got this team going and they rebound well. Their very best scoring period is the second period throughout the season. Almost half the goals that this team has scored this year have come in second period hockey. And again, they provided 2 right here this afternoon.
Well, after that hit on Ekman Larsson, almost every member of the Coyotes had a conversation with Chris Neal before he got to the bench. But Chris is a conversationalist. He doesn't mind chatting. Here's Hansel at center. Goes into the wing. Puck is tipped in by Chip Chura. Out of the net. Anderson leaves it there. Here's Method now. Lead pass out to center. Conacher through the middle. Spots McCulloch going full speed. Dumps it in for him. Back along the boards. Conacher chips the puck. Chip Chura now. Conacher is knocked off his path to the puck. Wide side. Morris gets to the Ottawa line. Floats it in. Blocker redirection to the corner. Spezza trying to get to it. He was hooked up on the way there. Here's Mafat now. Out to center. Conacher cross corners the puck into the Phoenix end. Puck is picked up there by Klesla. Off the boards, tries to clear it out. Greening holds it in. Greening along the boards. Klesla tries to work on him. Puck comes free. Klinkhammer tries to get it out. He takes a hit. Cody Ceci tries to hold it in. He does. To the corner. Greening with a shot low and just wide. Off the boards, here's Phillips. Fires it back in behind the net. Zach Smith out the other side. Klesla on him. Ceci fires it in, looking for a tip that doesn't happen. Phillips on the other side comes down the wall, sends it in, save is made. Loose puck, Neal trying to get a stick on it. Couldn't get his stick free, and now we've got hugs, but no Christmas sweaters.
Well, Michael Stone had a hold of Neal's stick somewhat between the arm and between the leg, and now you got Mike Smith and Neal going at it. Oh, my. You know what? This is where maybe I might want to say to Chris Neal, look, these guys were asleep until we gave them a couple of mistake goals, and then Chris Neal gets a good hit on Oliver Ekman Larson, and now the Phoenix Coyotes are really alive, and the goaltender, in my opinion, had been napping up to this point. He is now riled up as well. We'll see who benefits from this, whether the home team or the visiting Coyotes.
It has become a spicy affair this afternoon at Canadian Tire Center. Well, the discussions and negotiations continue down at the penalty box, and here's how this all got started. Neal trying to get a stick free from Stone. It comes off and whacks Smith. Smith then gives him the blocker in the head, and that makes people even more angry.
Well, you see how Stone has got the stick between his legs, and he's also got both hands kind of holding Neal's stick, and Neal's a little ticked off, so he whips out the stick. It hits Mike Smith, wakes him up, and he says, "No more nap time, I'm going after you." And that is what is going on right now. So where do we end up? Each side get 2 people in the box.
2 in the box each. We'll see what the numbers are. We'll wait for the official announcements, but I believe at the end of it all, you're probably going to see nobody with a man advantage out of all this.
Well, Mike Smith, you know, sometimes you say, well, the broadcasters might be hard on him. The fact is this guy across Canada is acknowledged as maybe one of the top 3 goaltenders for the Olympics. And he has a lot of good things going for him, obviously. You know, he's got a decent save percentage, but they really like his combativeness and the way he's played in the playoffs. He's very good going post to post. You might need that kind of play in the Olympics, a bigger rink. They work the puck to the front of the net, and you need to go east-west, post to post a lot, and be able to cover those areas. And of course, his puck handling ability on a bigger ice rink could be viewed as something that is important for the Olympics.
Right now, Conacher's come across to join the party in the penalty box. So obviously somebody's getting an extra 2, and Conacher will have to serve the extra 2. Right?
You know, it must be very hard for the referee to, you know, come together and figure out how it all works. When you consider what started all of this, what actually started all of it? Well, what started it is that Stone had a handle on the stick. You're not supposed to hold the opponent's stick in front of the net. Yet, none of that seems to matter, as the Ottawa Senators are going to have the extra 2.
So Conacher will serve the extra 2 that Neal picked up. What this does mean is that Chris Neal, those who are keeping track at home, has now surpassed 2,100 penalty minutes lifetime. He's only 2 away and is now past it. So Neal, Greening, and Conacher in the penalty box for Ottawa. A 2-minute power play for Phoenix. 2 men in the box. And we'll see what happens on this power play as Phoenix has come back with 2 goals to tie this game up. Yandel from center fires it in. Anderson clears it himself all the way back down ice and gives it to Smith.
Now Yandel's got the puck now. He's the one that you really got to watch for here. He's a very smart player on the offensive blue line.
And number 26, 2 minutes running to Michael Stone. With us.
They'll send Larson to the corner.
Number 25, Chris Neal.
And hold it in. 2 in the box for Phoenix are Stone and Klesla.
Additional penalty served by number 89, Corey Connor.
Neal, Greening, and Conacher in one, and Stone and Klesla in the other.
2 minutes for roughing at 10:41 at Sissikata.
Again, Phoenix makes their way to the line. Here's Ekman Larson to the corner. Puts the brakes on as Greiber was working on him. Spezza with a loose puck out to center. Tried to hit McCulloch for the shorthanded breakaway chance. 50 seconds to go in this Phoenix power play. Out to center and down to the Ottawa line and in. Vermette goes to the high slot. Moss waiting in front of the net. Here's Morris. Morris tries to lay the puck in. Can't. Phillips can't clear the puck out. Yandel somehow holds the puck in 3 times. Morris back to the line again for Yandel, turning with it. Here's Moss. Vermette back to the point. Yandel to Morris. Morris lines, fires, and that's over the net. Round the boards. Yandel there to hold it in. His wrister goes off. Condra finally comes down to earth, and it's cleared back down ice by Pajot. 4 seconds remaining. Greening will be the first to come out of the box. He's back out now. And let's go down to ice level. Here's Sean.
Thank you, Dean. Make sure to tune to the NFL on Sportsnet. 2 games tomorrow at 4 p.m. It's Pittsburgh Steelers heading to the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field to take on the Green Bay Packers. Or you can watch New England take on the Baltimore Ravens. Also on Monday, some Barclays Premier League action. Arsenal versus Chelsea. That is Monday, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Sportsnet East, Ontario, West, and Pacific.
All right, thank you very much, Mac. Everybody out of the penalty box. Both teams except for Chris Neal. Off the faceoff, Ekman Larson drives it in, round the boards. Tipped ahead by Mafat, but not out. Puck comes free. MacArthur tried to move it up, knocked off his stick, back to the point. There's a shot. That's knocked down by Turris. Tip pass by Bobby Ryan back to Turris. Didn't connect. MacArthur tries again to clear it, again can't get it out. This time it was stopped up by Korpikoski. That's Tatum. Back along the boards. Korpikoski tried to bring it back to the front of the net. Now along the boards, puck is flipped back to the line. MacArthur this time carries it to center, goes to the wing. Bobby Ryan lays it to the corner. Ottawa changing as MacArthur goes into the boards and Connor Murphy goes in hard. And he is down as Cowan now is behind the play, is having words with Tim Kennedy. And back up is Connor Murphy, and
Well,
training's up to see him. Not exactly. His chin obviously is bleeding. Got hooked up with.
is that from this hit?
I'm not entirely sure what Murphy was doing. Are you stopping? Are you starting?
I know. Murphy was kind of like, I think he thought that he had enough balance to use his own strength. He's a much bigger man than MacArthur is. And MacArthur was thinking that he had the push going here, which is sometimes something you get away with, but not on this case. I think the thin on his chin was already there.
Giving MacArthur 2 minutes reporting.
Because MacArthur turned around and said something to him, and it wasn't like, "Are you okay?" I mean, it turned out to be worse than, it looked worse than what it was. I mean, Murphy had, wait a minute,
I think he might be getting 2 for a
oh
dive.
my goodness, there's the answer right there. You gotta love these calls. I mean, the fact is if the officials feel that there's a little embellishment, you've got to call it. That is the toughest thing about a lot of these hits, and that call is made. That is very, very interesting.
Well, wait to see if it is unsportsmanlike, which is what they call the dive, but I can't imagine what else it might be, and Dave Tippett is perplexed.
Although they got 5 players on the ice. There we go.
Start, go, no, what? It seemed like he had
It seemed like as soon as they made contact, which is about 10 feet from the boards, that's when Murphy kind of got up on his skates, didn't he? And maybe, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but I certainly commend the officials for making a call when they actually think it's embellishing.
Back to the point. Carlson fires it through, glove down by Smith, and he holds on. As Derek Morris now is having a disagreement with Colin Greening. And Colin Greening's going back to the penalty box, as is Morris. And Colin Greening's saying, the guy cross-checked me after the whistle. What was I supposed to do there? So
send them both off. Not a bad call if you send them both on, trying to control, something that has the fuse is lit here, I think, as far as the officials are concerned. And, you got Steve Kozari and Rob Martel. They feel the fuse is lit, and they're going to try and keep things under control. They're the little, there's nothing going on here. There's absolutely nothing. But the official makes a judgment call, and I'm not going to let things get out of hand. So he sends them off, both.
So 4-on-4 will continue. Hansel wins the draw over Pajot.
The penalties to Phoenix number 53.
Now up the right side of center is Michael Stone. Drops it back. Ekman Larsson goes to the other side. Reflected in by Verbata. Anderson out of the net. Runs it along the boards. Process to the line. Zach Smith swings it in. Trying to hit Carlson as he jumped up on the play. And he's taken into the boards by Ekman Larsson. Zach Smith trying to fish it out to the other side. Verbata. Here's Jared Cowan to meet him one. Comes back to the point. There's Zach Smith there. Shovels it back to the open corner. Ottawa will change on that cross-corner dump, and they'll change them all. As Verbata gets down to the line, winds and fires. An easy pad save. Now a rebound. Henry cross ice. Drive it. Decks Verbata. And Ottawa carries on up ice to the line. Here's McCullough. Cuts back. Drops back. Sends it back to the net. Here's Mathot. Tries to walk out. Scores! Mark Mathot, second of the afternoon.
I hope you were with us between periods when Sean McKenzie was talking to Mark Mathot, and he says, well, different than the other afternoon games, we seem to be awake. I know I'm awake. Well, he certainly is. And one guy that still apparently is not is the goaltender Mike Smith. You've got to be cheating. Had to be looking to see where that play was going to go. Not anticipating that Mark Mathot would make his own play on the front of the net. Did not use his stick. Did not cover the post. All in all, not a very good performance by the goaltender, and a great go-ahead goal by Mark Mathot, who now is 2 in the game, 4 in the season.
Senators goal.
Ottawa retakes the lead. Here's Vermette to the line. Takes his 30 cross-check in the kidneys from Greiba. Condra loses the puck in the corner. Back to the point. One-timer tipped wide of the net. Off the boards. Condra again. This time carries it out through the middle. Finds Turris. Turris at the line. Tries to shovel it back in front for Condra. Covered up though by Smith, and he will hold on. Mark Mathot's 4th of the year, 2nd of the afternoon, gives Ottawa the lead.
Mark Mathot having one whale of a day, 2 goals today, 1 assist even strength, and then Thursday against Florida, look at that. 2 goals against Florida, 1 assist even strength, 20 minutes almost. You know what? This is what the result should be after being a healthy scratch. You come out mad, you come out and play hockey, you come out and make the coach use you. It's like you're selling yourself all the time. You want the coach to look up down that bench when he sees number 3, he says go. That's what he wants. And Mathot is doing it in this hockey game.
MacArthur and Connor Murphy out of the penalty box. Up is flipped to the corner. Here's Carlson. As Ribeiro takes down MacArthur. Penalty call is on the way. Spets it to the line, sends it in. Smith tips it to the corner. Here's Cowan, comes across, touches the puck up, and the penalty call is on the way. As MacArthur was decked well away from the puck, and now Ribeiro having a chat with him. Ribeiro, the scariest 172-pounder in the NHL.
Phoenix 63, tripping.
So as Morris comes out, Ribeiro will go in.
I tell you, to his credit, though, Ribeiro has brought a lot of offense to that team that wasn't there before. Left side of your screen, that's a slew foot. I mean, you're probably going to get a little more of a look at the league level on that particular play because it's a slew foot. And I don't know what Ribeiro is arguing with referee Martel about.
I was only partially joking. He is 172 pounds, and for a 172-pounder, he brings edge and attitude. He can win face-offs. His numbers are down this year, but he does generate offense everywhere he's been. Tippett had him in Dallas, and you think that wasn't a consideration when he was available, and came back and played for Tippett again. Because he is not a big man. Here's Turris. No look. Tries to go to the corner. Hops over top of the stick. Neal. Taken down by Klesla. Back to the wing. Puck slides up the line. Here's Mathot to chase it. Came down the wall looking for his hat-trick goal. Now feeds it ahead. Here's Bobby Ryan trying to get in around Morris. Bobby Ryan taken to the corner. holds onto the puck, plays it back. Method. He's got a crowd in front. Neal getting mugged by Klesla, front of the net. Neither one has a stick now. Neal tries to reach back into the net, gets his stick back. Carlson fires it through, tipped in front. Back to the line. Here's Turris back through the box. Carlson winds, fires, rips it over the net. That one skips up into the mesh. Bobby Ryan wants to know, did it really hit the mesh? Doesn't matter now, the whistle's gone. Face-off will be to the left of Smith as Neal continues his strong play in front of and inside the Phoenix goal.
Well, you look in front of the net and, not deterred at all by Klesla is Neal, who casually gets his stick, and had he been turned the other way, probably would have ended up getting a freebie. Oh, boy. He wanted to put the puck through the goalie, didn't he? Erik Karlsson.
Smith has a lot of family and friends here for the game.
But getting a Neal on the power play, good deal, obviously. Don't have to worry about where he's going to go.
Here's Spezza, throws it in. Greeny along the boards. Ceci come down the wall to try and keep the offensive pressure on. Greeny trying to get in around Ekman Larsson. He wins the battle, clears it back down ice. Anderson tees it up there.
How long do you think this pairing could be in Ottawa? Karlsson and Ceci.
To the line. McCulloch dumps it to the corner. Here's Karlsson now. Winds, doesn't fire. Ceci, he does. That's knocked down. Puck along the board. Ceci back to the corner. Puck is free. Ekman Larsson around the boards. Karlsson gets there to hold it in. Here's Karlsson. Dishes it off. Ceci. There's cross ice. Here's Spezza. Winds, fires right on. Save is made. Loose puck. McCulloch tries to steal it. Puck is cleared and flipped all the way back down ice. Penalty to Ribeiro is over. We're back to 5-on-5 now. Good pressure by Ottawa's power play. We'll see if they can carry that momentum into even strength. Here's Karlsson through center. Down to the line. Carries it in. Hansel gets on him, but Karlsson swings it off. Puck in the corner. Now flipped along the boards, but not out. Back to the other side. Puck hits a stick out at center. Condra tried to race across and beat Tim Kennedy to the open spot through the middle. Verbata deflects the puck in. Here's Gryba. Steers it to his partner, Method. Tries to run it along the board. Centering pass, knocked down. Puck is cleared ahead. Out to center. Conacher through the middle. Gives it to Gryba to the line. Condra, his shot right on. Save is made. And Smith thought he was going to blocker it to the corner. Instead took it in the breadbasket. And now Keith Yandel has decided to go after Corey Conacher. And those two go down, and Conacher right now is on top of Yandel. On the other side, you've got Hansel, and he was all wrapped up.
You think Gryba was in there, so Hansel not really a match for the 6'5" Gryba.
So we run after Condra, more his size.
Yeah, but I bet you Canisius and Buffalo, Conacher looks like the type of body that would be a top wrestler. There's a shot, and here comes Yandel, and he goes after Conacher. There is Gryba coming in with a big guy, and
Derek Morrison a headlock. So nothing really was going on until Keith Yandel got there and decided that he just didn't like Corey Conacher standing that close to his goalie, I guess, because there really wasn't much going on.
No, that extra push got it. It just gives you an idea how edgy these two teams are right now. And the game has developed to this level, which is great for the fans. It just brings the intensity level up. And that word, put together into a hockey game is not bad for the Ottawa Senators. They have not had the intensity in many of the games. It's certainly here.
A little bit of hate is good for hockey.
This HD broadcast presented by Bell 5 TV. Watching hockey just got better.
So Keith Yandel, then, he was just down and putting his hands up going, how come I'm the only guy in here after all of that? And the referee said, you're the guy who started everything. And so out of all of that, one roughing penalty goes to Yandel because, as we said, before he got there, nothing was happening.
Nothing was happening, exactly.
So that's the way the officials read it, and it ends up being an Ottawa power play. Zach Smith in the face-off circle. A quick jump. Smith will leave. Vermette stays in. Many will remember as the former center, Antoine Vermette, when he was in Ottawa, one of the best face-off men in the league. Since he has left, nothing has changed in that regard. Vermette is outstanding in the face-off circle. 57.5% coming into this game. The puck is dumped into the corner. It's set by Smith. 57.5%. Once again, he is top 10 in the league. 7th place. Final minute of play here in period number 2. Smith out of the net. Clears it himself. Back out to center. Carlson swings it around to Mafat. Carlson now. Down to the line. Carries it in. Knocked off his stick. Back out to center, but not all the way down ice. Zach Smith back to the line again. Delays. Runs it hard around the boards. Neal stops it on the other side. Plays it back to the corner. Here's Colin Greening. Neal to the corner for Smith. Back to the point. Mafat has to turn to chase it. It was a flat backhand by Zach Smith and didn't come off the boards with any depth. Back to the line again. Zach Smith changing the power players. He ranges across ice. Ceci wide side to Turris. Stops, cuts back. Late man, MacArthur, his shot right on. Save is made by Smith, and he clutches again at the loose puck.
Now Smith has had his trouble locating the pucks throughout this hockey game, but right here, Mark MacArthur coming off the bench. Gets a shot at Smith, and he makes his 16th save of the night, of the afternoon.
7.7 seconds to go. Turris and again Vermette. MacArthur trying to win the puck along the boards. Ceci sends it towards the net, knocked down in front of the net by Connor Murphy, and that will do it for period number 2. The Senators in this period lost the lead and then got it back with Mark Mafat's second of the afternoon. Hockey Central at the intermission with Darren Millard coming up after this.
Your second period scoring summary brought to you by The Brick. Nobody beats The Brick for furniture, mattresses, appliances, and big screen TVs. A much busier period than the first. Zach Smith's long wrister beat Mike Smith. Didn't get 2-0 Sens, but the News came right back. Former center Antoine Vermette's 10th of the season cut the lead to just 1. Radim Vrbata tied up, but Mark Mafat, second of the gun, restored the Ottawa 1-goal lead. I'm now joined by Jason York. Jason, ever since Chris Neil decided to exchange pleasantries with Mike Smith, this game has developed some edge. Do you like to see this from the Sens?
I like how you put that. Pleasantries. I don't know how pleasant that was in front of the net, but the line of Zach Smith, Colin Greening, and Chris Neil, they've been playing tenacious tonight, gritty, just getting pucks to the net. Zach Smith with the timely play out of the penalty box. He jumps out. Quick little snapshot here to beat Mike Smith, showing some offense there. I love the fact that he's coming low in the defensive zone, just like Kyle Turris, who I showed last period, helping out the defense. And Chris Neil hunting guys down in the back jump, flying out of a cannon at Ekman Larsson. And that's what had the Phoenix Coyotes so enraged. Gets his stick tied up by Stone in front of the net, tries to free it, hammers Smith with the stick by accident, but still, that's the type of energy and passion that this team needs to play with.
You don't expect a big offensive contribution from Mark Mafat when he comes to the game. 2 goals so far. What do you like about his game?
Well, I guess we'll have to talk about it more often before the game. I like the fact he's getting up in the offense, and I like the response after being a healthy scratch. Well, some say he was sick, but still, he was healthy enough to play. The response tonight, coming in with 2 goals, I think it's great to see from your veteran defenseman.
We'll see what the Sens' response is in the third period after Mafat made it 3-2 for the second of his game. Dean, Denny?
All right, Mac, thanks. Thanks to Jason. First 2-goal game of his NHL career, and obviously that means he's never had 3. As Ottawa goes into this period, leading 3-2. Mafat thus far providing 66.6% of the offense, and Dave Tippett has to find a way to turn things around.
Well, the first thing he did coming out of the dressing room is he called over linesman David Brisebois, and he started pointing fingers at him, and he had something to say. And what's interesting is Griesbach then went and caucused with the other 3 officials at center ice. So obviously something he said made sense to the linesman Griesbach. But, you know, a quick look at the chart. And 9 minor penalties for the Coyotes. That's totally out of character.
Into the zone, still 20 seconds to go in the Ottawa power play. And out to center. Moss leaves it there. Here's Vermette. Gives it the high flip into the zone. Knocked down by Anderson. Ceci with it now. And this will be Ottawa's last rush with a man advantage if they get a full rush out of it. He drops it for Spezza. Spezza now finding his way to center. To the line. He's chopped down. Penalty call is on the way as McCulloch grips it at Smith. And Ottawa will go right back to the power play. It would be hard to imagine an easier penalty call for the referees on this one.
All the lobbying by Coach Dave Timmins not going to help, but this is pretty maddening if you're the defender. I mean, come on, Hansel's not a bad defensive centerman, and he just got fooled on that one. And of course, reaching for the puck, and then the slap of the stick on the skate. So that was an easy one, as Dean said. And the Ottawa Senators here can really help themselves with a power play goal.
Once again, here's Turris in the circle up against Vermette.
Yeah, you can see Turris trying to cheat, maybe trying to do something new. Gets frustrating against a guy like Vermette, who is that good.
Vermette, another clean win. Ekman Larsson snaps it around the boards. It gets by Carlson. And Larsson and Carlson.
And interestingly enough, Vermette is a left-hand shot, but he still takes that defensive zone face-off on the right-hand side.
The thought sends it in front looking for a tip. Here's Bobby Ryan. Can't reach it. Short-handed back to center. Here come the Coyotes down the wing. Schwartz couldn't do anything with it. Now here's McCarthy. Drops it back, and Carlson. Back to the line. Along the boards, McCarthy stood up, gets it back. Carlson throws it cross ice. Vermette knocks it down. Now tries to chase it. Anderson has to wait as the puck went into the forbidden zone. There's a turnaround attempt back in front, and it was nearly tipped. Racing in the backside was David Moss for a pretty good chance. Centering pass picked off by Ceci, and now the power play continues. Minute gone, minute to go. Ceci gets to the line, puts it hard around the board. Smith slows it down. Puck is slapped off the boards back down ice as it goes over the head of Carlson.
I think he had an idea of getting the glove on the puck, but it was coming a little too hard. You don't have any padding on the inside of the glove.
Back to center now. Here's McCulloch inside the zone, loses the puck. Conacher holds it in. He trips over top of the stick of Korpikoski. And boo, but in that particular case, you can't be given a penalty if you skate into a guy's stick. Here's Spezza to the line. Spezza pulls up, cross ice. Here's Ceci. Ceci along the boards. Dumps the puck to the corner. Conacher tries to run it along the boards. Back in the corner. McCulloch there to hold it in. Spezza wheels it back to the point. Here's Carlson. Carlson changing the angle. Wines fires. That's blocked on the way to the net. Conacher slaps it back to the point again. Carlson walks in. Wines and fires right on. Save is made. And Conacher comes in fishing, as was McCulloch, for that loose puck.
Well, again, you know, you talk a lot about the Ottawa Senators' misgivings in losses. Well, take a look at how Murphy gets the puck, and he just doesn't get it out. He had plenty of opportunity for the Phoenix Coyotes and neglects to get it out of the zone. So now the next 30 seconds belongs to the offensive team. And Carlson gets a couple of good shots out of it. So the Phoenix Coyotes, and unfortunately, they came out of that pretty clean.
Back to even strength now. Sounders have outshot the Coyotes 29-20 this afternoon. As Hansel is invited to leave the face-off circle. Vermette will take this drop against Zach Smith. Smith wins it. Tries to tip it back to the point, but a good recovery by Verbata. Gets the puck to the line, and it did come outside the line. I thought Mafat had kept it in, but not the case. Face-off back outside the Coyotes line.
Well, it's well worth saying, because if you've heard our broadcast, you've heard Dean say Neal, Spezza, and Mafat. A lot, right? How about the leadership group? You think that they've reacted? They've come out after that big meeting where General Manager Brian Murray was calling out the leadership group. Mark Method, huge game. I mean, that's the first time in his career he's got 2 goals in one game. Now has 13 goals on his NHL career.
Greening out to center, just out of the reach of Chris Neal. Yandel back in his own zone. Kennedy back to Yandel. They move it around. Out through the middle. To the line. The puck is flipped in by Hansel. Hansel takes a rub from Zach Smith. Back to the point. Morris with a shot. Glove down by Anderson, and he holds on as he slides out of the blue paint to pick it up.
Well, Craig Anderson is staying sharp because all in all, when you consider the amount of shots the Ottawa Senators have been giving up, over 30 shots every game, you may not see that many. And the ones he's seen today, that was the 20th shot against Craig Anderson, and the ones that have come from the Coyotes, he's had a pretty good sight on each one of them.
Back along the boards. Carlson, lead pass. Gets by everybody all the way down ice. No one whistled down on the icing call, and arguments begin now as nobody in red is agreeing with the linesman's call here. Nonetheless, faceoff comes all the way back down ice, and he basically has to argue with every Senator as he comes back down to the other end of the ice. Not an easy skate for David Brisebois. And now he's having a conversation with the other lineman. So this has been a very talkative play. And skates away shaking his head. So clearly Brisebois didn't agree with or enjoy any of the conversations from the other end of the ice. And didn't seem to appreciate the one he had with his partner when he got there. Back to the line. Ekman-Larsson shot goes wide. Here's MacArthur. Chops it along the boards. Connor Murphy comes down the wall to hold it in. No one does, even though he didn't know exactly where it was. Here's Ekman-Larsson. Sends a wrister in. That's blocked by Ryan. To the other side. Bodker ties up Cowan along the boards. Senators steal the puck. They break it back up ice 3-on-2. Here's Carlson. Takes it wide. Carlson tries to lay it back in front. Now swings it around the boards. Ottawa will change now as Murphy's back to pick it up. Murphy lead pass out to center. Here's Ribeiro. Floats it to the corner. Chip Chura to chase it. Cowan is there first. Reverses the puck, but it ends up on the stick of Ribeiro. Here's Ribeiro in the corner. Sends it back to the high man. Back at the point. It comes outside the line. Yandel couldn't get there to hold it in. Coyotes trying to re-enter the Ottawa zone. Brule banks it along the boards. Carlson has the puck slide in behind him. Coming across ice, Cowan sends the puck ahead, and jumping in on the play was David Moss, and he nearly stripped Carlson of the puck.
That was incredible vision by Carlson to see him coming and be able to make your hands work like that.
Coyotes trying to come out of the zone. A very quick shift for Ottawa's fourth line in the matchup game. They were just on the ice and now have just gotten off the ice, and Erik Karlsson has been shaken up. He's on the Ottawa bench right now, receiving some attention.
Well, I tell you what, maybe his heart missed a beat, because as Moss was coming in and the pass from Cowan was so slow, that is a suicide pass. Now his heart may have missed a beat because thinking Moss might have just sort of run him over. You just can't make those passes, right? Got to make them hard in the head.
Another icing call that is debated. As Conacher fell on the way there, and now he's getting a skating lesson from the referee who's telling him how he should skate.
Now we got a minute looking at Karlsson, the Swedish defenseman. We got Jonathan here, our man of the day, gave us some stats that are pretty incredible. He talked about 24 defensemen who are Swedish in the NHL.
So shot back in front. Moss couldn't get the rebound. Wraparound attempt by Vermette just misses. I'll put it this way. There are almost as many Swedish defensemen in the NHL bouncing puck clear to the corner. Here's Ceci, as there are Russian players, period, in the league.
Yeah.
To the line.
Yeah, 36%. 67 total Swedish players, and 24 of them are defensemen. But I mean, the province of Ontario has 13.5 million people. All of Sweden has 9 million.
Here's Zach Smith back to the corner.
It's an incredible hockey program.
Back to the line. Greening couldn't get it out. Puck is held in by Hansel. Now Mafat taps it ahead to himself. Out to center. Neal lifted the stick and tried to turn on it. Smith clears it away. Puck hops up in the air, and that one goes off a stick, up and out of play.
Molson Canadian invites you to watch the game from your Sens Army headquarters. Go to OttawaSenators.com for a list of locations, including these fine establishments.
Hey, that's Gordon Wilson's voice.
Already down the hall with us.
Yep.
The Tribes, 2 booths over. Off the draw. Here's Ekman Larsson. Gets it back from his partner through the middle. Puck is tipped in by Chip Church. Here's Bottker to chase it. Cowan ties him up. Carlson steers the puck ahead. Goes off the skate of Ryan, but not out of the zone. Back along the glass. Carlson reaching for it. Oh, just walks by Bottker. Out to center. Lead pass for Ryan. From skate to stick. Ryan tries to lay it in for Turris. He's taken down. Back along the boards. McCarthy tries to feed the point, but that's knocked down by Chip Chura. Now he clears the puck ahead. Out to center. Ekman Larsson gets turned around. Bobby Ryan puts Connor Murphy into the boards. And now Phoenix gets control once again. Ekman Larsson throws the puck through center and up into the Ottawa runway. Still a 1-goal lead for the Senators here in period 3 on Canadian Tire. Senators hockey. It's Working Senator brought to you by Marks. Ready for this?
Not even on Twitter they're going to argue about this choice. Marc Methot has been outstanding in this hockey game at both ends of the rink. Look at this play defensively. And amongst other things, he leads the team in shots on goal with 4. Marc Methot, 2 goals on the game, giving his team the lead. He is the hardest working Senator.
So far in this game, he scored the first goal, and as of right now, he has scored the last goal. And as Denny mentioned, his team is up 3-2. They face off back in the neutral zone. Zach Smith and Martin Hansel. To the line. Neal tried to hold the puck in and did. Yandel falls. Neal with the puck. Neal sends it in front. Zach Smith! Blocker save from Smith. Puck is snapped out to center in the neutral zone. Kennedy dumps it to the corner. Neal goes to get it. Neal Hansel in the corner. Puck along the boards, and the play is whistled down. You get a penalty call in behind the play. Interference is the call against Greiba. So Phoenix will go to the power play, and apparently this also requires a great deal of conversation.
Well, I tell you what, I think that there's a little bit of lobbying there by Dave Tippett at the beginning of the period we talked about, but really there was a call missed deep in the zone. Watch as what happens right here. The skates go out from underneath Yandel, and at that point Tippett is on top of the bench yelling and screaming, trying to get the referee's attention. So no call was made deep in the zone, and then the interference call is made here. I hate to think that we get reduced to, makeup calls. But I think these referees have done a heck of a job in this game today. That may have been one of them.
Burnett at the line drops it off, but not out. Here's Ekman Larsson. Ottawa had possession momentarily. Yandel goes wide side. Bottker with it now. Bottker. Sends it to the side of the net. Turnaround play. Moss. Couldn't get it by the well-positioned Craig Anderson. Here's Yandel now. Yandel drops it back. Gets it back. Fires it through right on. Anderson made the save and was in a good enough position to be able to punch it past the Phoenix forward who's right in his lap. Here's Yandel again. He's changing. Minute down, minute to go in their power play. To the line. Here's Ribeiro. Weaves in, shovels the puck to the corner. Round the boards for Bata. Sends it to the other side. Rappaport, Yandel. Scoops it to an open area. Moving in. Quick shot. Anderson knocks it down. Methot to the corner. Carter clears it back down ice, and then he takes some contact from Hansel. Puck is tipped back to the line. Anderson out of the net. Plays it back out to center himself. Here's Craig Anderson, inspired by the puck handling today. There's Mike Smith. to the line. Here's Ribeiro. Stopped up at the line. Again, stopped up at the line. Now trying to get it in. Spezza stops him up at the line. Cowan falls. And now out of the crowd, Yandle flips it in himself. Goes to get it. Here's Yandle. Bad angle. Takes it anyway. Blocker save from Anderson. Yandle gets his own rebound. Lays it back. Here's Bottcher with it now. Drive it back out now. Gets it across. Quick shot in front. Kicked out by Anderson. Back along the boards. Here's Cowan. Steers the puck ahead. In from the point. Puck is kept alive down the wall by Stone. Verbata back to the point. Off the wall. Klesla winds. Fires. That goes wide. Driver tips it back to the line. Again, can't get it out. Verbata with a shot. Low, wide, blue side of the net. Hansel couldn't poke it in. Good defensive play from Mark Mathot.
He came out of nowhere.
Back in his own zone. Smith clears the puck up on the wing. Rusty Klesla. He sends the puck out to center. Then he's blistered into the boards by Bobby Ryan. Puck is floated back down to the Phoenix end. Stone, wide side, Klesla out to center. Lead pass down to the line. Brule takes it wide. Couldn't get around Phillips. Pulls back. Tries to play it along the boards, but it's cleared out to center by Chris Phillips. Through the middle. Here's Turris to the line. Turris gets a shot away. That goes off a leg. Morris guides him off. Turris playing this afternoon against his old team. To the line and in. Korpikoski with a shot that's tipped on the way to the net. Phillips plays it off the boards. Back to the point. Yandle winds and fires. Anderson in front makes the save and takes contact immediately. Mark Mathot has scored 2 and saved a couple here this afternoon. Now anything for hockey brought to you by Molson Canadian, diehard fan and proud partner of the Ottawa Senators.
That message will get directly to the leadership group, and one of those guys, Chris Neil. Got to pick up the intensity is the word from the management, and Chris Neil does it better than almost anybody. And you know what? He'll fight anybody anyone, even if you got a goalie mask on. Anyone for hockey.
Back to the line, Yandle holds it in. Throws one to the net, off the boards. Back to the point it comes. Puck goes off a stick up into the mesh, so a face-off will stay in the Senators' end. Now 9:23 to go in the third.
Yeah, that was it. I didn't misspeak by saying anyone. He'll take on anyone for the betterment of his hockey team, and Chris Neil has shown that over and over again. And in this hockey game has been used, as in others, but not on a regular basis, on the power play, which I like because it brings everything down to the simplest form. You know you've got somebody in front of the net trying to screen the goalie.
Here's Carlson to center. Flips the puck down inside the Phoenix end. Yandle tips it back. Here's Morris. Along the boards, Moss looks through the middle. His pass partially deflected. Now picked up. Yandle jumps back in the play. Got Vermette with him. Stops. Tips it off. Here's Bottcher to the corner. Cowan tries to angle him off. Bottcher sends it in front. Puck is tipped away by Conacher. Back out to center. Nice defensive play by Corey Conacher. And now Phoenix back again to the line. Lead pass. Knocked down at the line. Carlson takes the puck from Anderson. Anderson already with 1 assist this season. Neal dumps the puck to the corner. Greening along the boards. Tries to hold it in, but can't do it. And out to center now. Korpikoski flips it to the corner, trying to get around Ceci. 2 of them bunch up in the corner. Neal comes in, gets a piece of Brule. Back along the boards. They continue to scrape for it. Neal continues to pin Ekman Larsson. Ekman Larsson going to scrape it free. Ekman Larsson goes down, but still while on the ice. Hard control the puck. Phillips now gets the puck to center. Puck is dumped to the zone. Zach Smith goes in to chase it. Smith plays it across. Murphy clears it out, then takes contact. Hits a stanchion, stays in the zone. Here's Bobby Ryan. Ryan out the other side, tries to wrap around, gets 2 chances. Puck is loose. Finally, it pops free, and the Coyotes skate out of their own zone, but a high sticking is going to be the call, and Ottawa will go to the power play. Let's go down to ice level. Here's Sean.
Thank you, Dean. Carey Price has his sights set. First goal then the Stanley Cup. We go one-on-one with Montreal superstar in the latest issue of Sportsnet magazine. Subscribe now at sportsnet.ca/magazine.
We talked about it earlier, Denny. Could one of his goaltending partners, if he does make the Olympic team, be that man right there, Mike Smith? High sticking goal here.
A wraparound attempt there by Bobby Ryan on that potential Olympic goaltender, Mike Smith. A lot of activity in the front of the net. The stick was elevated. And now the Ottawa Senators have another power play.
Carlson. Topside to Buck MacArthur. Fires. It's deflected just wide. Smith, of course, his wife, quite famous. Rashid Akron, a Canadian Olympic and World Cup skier. Here's Vermette with a block. Now trying to get back and get around Carlson. Vermette goes down. Here's Moss. Tries to play the puck. Ottawa with it. Here comes Ryan down the right side to the line. Bobby Ryan. Slides, gets a shot away, and Smith gloves it. Goes for a skate. Clears the puck ahead. Vermette, end of his shift. Will just slide the puck back down to the Ottawa and Anderson. Has to play it across to Carlson. Carlson throws it rink wide. To the line and in. Turris couldn't get through the crowd with it. Ekman Larsson comes over, steers it to the boards. Coyotes can't get it out. Ceci with it. To Carlson. Carlson to Ceci. Winds. Fires. Glove down by Smith. Redirected on the way there. He made the adjustment and made the save.
Now Dave Tibbetts not going to be happy with number 5 in white there, Connor Murphy. He's having a bit of a problem getting the puck out. And there again, it's a turnover to the other number 5, Cody Ceci. And look at that. That was a deflected shot. Bingo, right off the stick of Hansel. What an angle we had on that save. Incredible. Those are the reflexes that have impressed so many from Mike Smith.
Forrest plays the puck to the corner. Moss gets there and floats it back down to the Senators' end. Deflected off to the corner by Anderson, and here comes the power play breakout again. Cody Ceci. He is 19. To the line, tipped in by Conacher. Russell makes him take the long route around. Gets it back to the point. Here's Ceci with it now. Gets it across. Phillips. Line fires, and again gloved down by Smith, and nothing seeping out of his glove.
Well, you know, listen, you might be a little impressed with Cody Ceci's play, and he and Phillips play together. The fact is together they played 1,113 games. Ceci has played 5. Like Don Orey talking about scoring. He and Bobby Orr together got 35 goals one year. He had one, Orr at 34.
Out with a shot that doesn't get through. Puck is cleared back down ice. It's like the old joke stat there. Scoring brothers, the Gretzkys.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
Up ice. Here's Spezza to the line. Spezza takes it wide, round the boards. Lafont whips it across. Carlson sends it in, knocked down. Neal in front, but couldn't get to the loose puck. As again, Smith made the save and again found the rebound.
Yeah, I tell you about simple play, right? Well, you've got Neal, as I was talking about, on the power play. He brings the power play down to the very simplest level, and that's to the point where he almost is saying, look, Carlson, don't make anything fancy here. Just shoot the puck at the net. That was a great deflection by Chris Neal in front of the net on the power play attempt. Nothing fancy. Get him to the net, and he'll try and get a stick on it.
Spezza tried to go forward with the puck. Back to the line. Carlson knocks it down, but delayed offside call. Penalty is over. Ribeiro out of the box. Hansel to Ribeiro. Ribeiro winds, fires, glove down by Anderson, and he will hold on as we take a break. Still a 1-goal lead for the Senators late in the third. Time now for the game review, brought to you by the Ottawa Citizen, presenting sponsor of the Senators' 2013-14 season.
How about that? Method to his madness. First career 2-goal game, and one of them is a power play goal. That's the first power play goal this season. And then, of course, the defense scoring 3 of the 7 points. Howling Coyote, Vermette 1 goal, 57% on the face-off circle. Yet the shots on goal, still the Ottawa Senators holding the lead at 36-28.
Face off to the left. Craig Anderson off the draw. Ryan jumps up, steals the puck, motors past Derek Morris. 2-on-1. Bobby Ryan turns, spins, loses the puck. Morris clears it along the boards. Now Chip Chura trying to get it out. In the neutral zone, long lead pass down to the Ottawa line. It gets by Carlson. He gets in the way of Ribeiro as the two of them go for the puck. Here's Bottker in behind the net. Bottker circles around. Now a chance back in front. Chip Chura with a shot. That doesn't get through. Puck is still loose. Flip to the corner. Here's Cowan to chase it. Cowan through the middle. Bobby Ryan gets it to the line. And that one whistled down as the puck was gloved ahead from inside the zone to outside the zone to the face-off to the right of the Ottawa goal.
All right, Watt 65 in front of the net, trying to get good position. He's actually playing the odds. He's finding himself 1 against 2. And he plays it perfectly as he stays on his feet. You'll find that the Ottawa Senators defensemen, in this game in particular, we've even seen Cody Ceci do it. They let the goaltender handle the first shot, and they get themselves ready to pick up the rebound. That's what's key. Trying to block shots, you end up not knowing where the puck's going.
Neal taken hard into the boards by Ekman Larsson out the other side. Here's Hansel in the neutral zone. Neal comes across ice and had some nasty intentions for him. Here's Mafat along the boards, gets double teamed, but Zach Smith comes back to help him. Smith out to center. Floats the puck cross corner into the zone. Smith out of the net, knocks it down. Now across. Murphy out to center. His play stopped up at the line. Condra gets wrapped up with Hansel. Puck comes free, and here's Mafat out to center. Smith had nowhere to go with it. Heading off on a change. To the line now. Ekman Larsson, his shot knocked away by Anderson. Off the boards, the puck is scooped ahead back out to center. There's Condra now. Snaps it off the boards back down inside the Coyotes' end.
He did that with a little bit of velocity. Again, it's important. The key to the game of the Senators has been play smart. Get the pucks in deep.
Burnett at center, weaving his way down to the line, gets the puck in deep. Phillips goes to chase it. Around the board, Ceci chops the puck ahead. Condra unable to get the puck out. Penalty call is on the way. And it will go against the Ottawa Senators. And so obviously with 3:25 to go in regulation time and Phoenix down by a goal, this power play could be of huge importance. Condra will go off.
Too reminiscent of what happened last game with Pajot. Certainly inadvertently not trying to get penalties, but these late penalties can be costly. High sticking. Now we don't see it real well there because Moss got right in the way, but you know, in many instances it's going to be let go if you just hit the guy with your stick on a clearing attempt. But it's a second cross check to the neck that was very unnecessary by Condra, and that's the one that he gets caught on. It wasn't the follow through from trying to get the puck out. Cross check to the ear. He got caught.
Leslie seems okay. Phoenix 1 for 5 in the power play, 5 shots. Off the draw, here's Jensen. Turns, fires it in, puck is knocked down, side of the net. Back to the point for Bada. Goes cross ice, Ekman Larsson. Back in front, quick shot. Oh, what a save by Anderson. The redirect from Ribeiro, and Anderson with a big right pad save.
That is huge. Only just finding the puck is tough in that case.
Yandel to the line, heaves it to the corner. Centering pass, back to the point. Yandel back to the corner. Move it around, Ekman Larsson on the point. Slides the line, Yandel. Gets it back nearly outside the zone. Batted to the corner, Hansel centers it. Again, this time knocked away, a poke check by Anderson. Puck goes up and out of play off the stick of MacArthur, so the face-off will be to the right of the Ottawa net.
Well, in the power play, one of the toughest things for the goaltenders is finding the puck and then keeping your own defenseman out of the way because the opposing players are trying to push them into you. That one was just outstanding. Not only did he find the puck, but he found the right pad to put on the puck. That was a good shot right on goal. Anderson handled that with confidence.
Burnett to take the draw against Jason Spezza. Spezza wins it, but Ottawa still can't clear it. It's kicked back to the point. Here's Yandel. tries to fire it through. Spezza knocks it down, but again, can't get it out. Here's Vermette to the corner. Cowan chases him down. Phillips back of the net. Out of the corner, Moss walks it back in front. Paddle down, save. Puck is cleared to the line again. Spezza can't get it out. Back to the line. There's a shot. That's knocked down. Puck is loose. Centering pass for Vermette. Scores! Vermette gets his second of the afternoon to tie the game at 3.
What a tough call for the Ottawa Senators. That shot for the point hits Bodker in the head. And then I think everybody stopped playing. Watch what happens. Left side of your screen. First of all, the puck is not cleared by Spezza. That is the key. That shot hits Bodker in the head after going off of Cowan, and everybody seems to be perplexed. Where is the puck? And right at that point, it's Moss who finds it first, and then he finds Vermette on the other side. But everything is out of position, as you can see. That is where shot blocking drives me nuts. Had that puck not been blocked, had Cowan not focused on blocking a shot, and yet just focused on getting the rebound, none of that would have happened. That's just my opinion. I know a lot of people will differ in terms of blocking shots. But boy, it leaves you in a tough spot, and I always say the same thing. You block a shot, you never know where the puck's going to end up.
So less than 2 minutes to go in regulation time. Again, the Senators' lead has evaporated, and we are tied at 3. Drive it to the line. Puck is thrown in by Methot. Round the board. Smith out of the net. Leaves the puck there. Falling. Klesla gets it to the corner. Neal comes in. Knocks down Morris. Gets knocked down himself. Out to center. Bouncing puck at the Ottawa line. To the line and in. Zach Smith pokes it to the corner. Smith trying to cut to the net. Smith. Connor Murphy all over him. Along the boards. Loses control. Bobby Ryan comes in to steal it. Here's Ryan. Along the boards. Bobby Ryan. Back to Carlson. Couldn't get a stick on it. Sends it in front. Back to the point. Turris. Lines. Fires it. Blocked on the way to the net. As throwing his body in front of it was Antoine Vermette with 67 seconds to go in regulation time.
But you know, the world today, and I think it's getting less and less, but there you see the desperate move of a block shot. And the other thing is he got that in the head as well. That's just brilliant, isn't it? Block shots, face first. I think you're seeing less and less of it.
It's off to the left. Smith.
Might get a call from my friend John Tortorella on this.
Ottawa wins the draw. Here's Carlson. Puck hops up in the air, gloved down by Ryan, but picked up by Ekman Larsson. Final minute of play in regulation. Hansel bobbles the puck at the line. Bobby Ryan holds it in. Here's Bobby Ryan. Tries to dive to get it back to the front of the net for MacArthur. Here's Ryan now. Ryan out of the corner. Cycles it back. Here's Turris. Cuts in to get it. Back along the boards. You can tell Carlson wants to come down the wall, but he leaves it there for MacArthur.
And he also remembers what happened last game. Maybe trying to force a play that wasn't there. He got caught.
Bobby Ryan goes off. Either winded or shaken up. Puck at center. Cross ice. Here's Carlson. Takes it off the wall. Dumps it in. Neal goes to chase it. Here's Chipchura. Back along the boards. Vermette is back out there for Phoenix. Here's Bodker, wide side of the line. 10 seconds to go in regulation. Bodker tries to drive wide on the thought. Drops it back in front. Loose puck in front, and it's knocked away by Colin Greeny. Plays it off the glass, back out to center. It trickles down to the Phoenix end. Yandel looks up, and we are headed to overtime. 3-3 at the end of regulation with a late goal on the power play from Antoine Vermette.
Well, a solid game by Methot, 2 goals, but now he saw his winning goal turn into only a tying goal. Vermette taking advantage of an opportunity as the puck ricocheted. A block shot by Jared Cowan. The puck goes up and hits Bodker in the head. Then it goes down to Hansel's stick, or to Moss's stick, and then he finds a wide open Vermette who had wide open net to shoot at.
Half dozen goals today. Let's have a look at them.
weird series of consequences on that tying goal. And here's the first one by Methot. That one, a power play goal. First power play of the afternoon. Smith gets a shot past a napping Mike Smith. Vermette gets his first on a beautiful setup there by Bodker. Rabada then Methot will come in on his second goal of the night. That's what gave the Ottawa Senators the lead, and this is the block shot. Hits Bodker, then to Moss, and then to a wide open Vermette to tie it up, and now we are off to the 4-on-4 overtime.
Ottawa 3-6 in overtime this year. Phoenix is 5-6. And this is only the 5th time these two teams have gone to overtime. Ottawa is 2-0-2 lifetime in overtime against Phoenix. Only one of those 4 games has happened here in Ottawa, and that was a game that was back in the days when they were ties. They tied that game. First game between these two teams ended in a 4-3 overtime win for Ottawa on October 15th. This game, one way or the other, will end 4-3 for somebody. And we still have to determine who that's going to be. Here's Derek Morris. Drops the puck to the corner. And Verbata. Slowly to center. Cross ice. Catches Yandel. Yandel at the line. Couldn't get in as Greening was in his path. Turns back. He's going to try this all over again. Yandel throws it wide side as they try to come at Ottawa with speed. Hansel gets a shot away. Knocked away by Anderson. Now Zach Smith turns. Hansel staring him down. Cross ice out at center. Here's Methot to the line. Methot carries it in. Here's Methot. Cuts in. Goes to the net. Tried to jam it short side. Couldn't get it to go. Back along the boards.
Why not? A nice effort to try and get his third and the game winner.
Here's Connor Murphy with it now. Out from in front of his own net. Skates the puck to center. Murphy down to the line. Takes it wide. Spezza reaches in. Forehand chance right on. Anderson peeks but holds on. He knew it was in the equipment and holds on for a face-off to his right.
Martin Methot's playing with a lot of energy, so no, he's back now. He may put on those 7 or 8 pounds he lost with the flu, trying to get his third. And here's Connor Murphy, young defenseman, trying to create his offense. A lot of offense that comes from this back line of the Phoenix Coyotes.
Off the draw, face-off win for Spezza over Vermette. Two of the very best face-off men in the league as Carlson takes off. Carlson takes it wide on Yandel. Cuts in, gets a shot away. Smith makes the save. Here's a giveaway. Spezza spun around, loses the puck, and now Morris out to center for Vermette. Carlson races back to tie him up. Here's Boxer with it. His shot goes off Cowan and up into the mesh. Face-off will be to the left of the Ottawa goal as Carlson took it coast to coast.
Well, you count them. First you got Methot coast to coast, then you got Connor Murphy of the Coyotes, and then you have the leading scorer in the NHL amongst defensemen, and Aaron Carlson taking it to the net. And it's no doubt that you're getting a lot from defensemen on both sides. These Phoenix Coyotes, they've got 2 defensemen in Ekman Larsson and Yandel with 4 goals each. Stone has 7 goals on the season. That's 3rd most in the NHL by a defenseman. So Phoenix is used to getting offense on their back line.
Here's Cody Ceci to center. Right side, Turris to the line and in. Turris sends it through. Rebound chance. Oh, what a save. Smith makes a massive save, a game-saving save on Clark MacArthur.
That is one where it just takes the words right out of your mouth. Clark MacArthur is looking back, and he can't believe it. That pass was the perfect pass in hockey. That is called a rebound. And the rebound goes right on the stick of MacArthur. And there you see the right leg by Mike Smith. This will be the great angle. Not only did he get the first one on the right leg, but he also gets the rebound. Just terrific save there. A game-saving save. That was a great shot by Turris, because that is the kind of shot that is made not so much to score, but to create a good rebound.
Face-off win for Zach Smith. The thought plays it to the corner. Thought Greening was going there.
Yeah.
Greening's lost his glove now. Greening comes back. Takes for Bata. Bata cuts back. Greeny tries to stay on him. Back to the point. Morris winds, doesn't fire, slides it across. Yandel sends a wrister in. That goes off the blocker of Anderson and up into the mesh. So we're going to face off again inside the Ottawa end. 2:50 to go in overtime.
Yeah, I think Method is going to go and reach out to, well, he's talking to Smith right now, but he wants to reach out to those guys and say, look, you know, we've got a particular play going when we're 4-on-4, and I can't be left naked on the on the blue line, the offensive blue line. I need an out, and that's what was not delivered by Greening or by Smith. They didn't give the defenseman an out. The first idea is always shooting the puck, but sometimes that's not always there.
Pajot and Vermette. Vermette wins it. Yandel back at the point. Cuts back, trying to get around. Pajot gets a shot away. Pajot did a good job to keep him to the outside. Not allowed Anderson to basically just hold the post to make the position save.
Well, a big defining moment in this game will be over and over. Dean's talked about it a lot. It's right here. Boy, they win these faceoffs. It's like unbelievable. And Vermette takes a ton of them. But that gives him the puck right away. There you see what happens when you win the faceoff. Often create a shooting opportunity.
Scores! Vermette gets the hat-trick goal. It's the overtime game winner as he takes the rebound off Anderson, puts it behind him. It's the hat-trick overtime game winner for Antoine Vermette.
This is a very, very tough loss, and my words could not describe what Vermette has just done. Twice in a row in the offensive zone, wins the faceoff clean to the defenseman. First it was Ekman Larsson, and then it was Derek Morris who just gets the puck to the net. I tell you what, there's so many things that can happen when you're pretty sure of winning the faceoff. Everybody knows they can go to the net, and you'll see where Vermette went directly from the faceoff circle to the front of the net. He knows the shot is coming. It could be hard, it could be soft, but he knows it's coming. And there's Derek Morris just laying a wrister in there. An unbelievable game for Vermette coming back to Ottawa, a team he had once played for.
Now this is the first win for Phoenix here in Ottawa since October 26, 2010, and Vermette is the guy who seals it for them.